You don't suck at drawing. You're just learning digitally, and digital art has a whole set of secret little rules nobody tells you about. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn why your lines feel weird, why your colors look wrong, and what to practice so your art starts looking like you. You're building a skill stack. Let's make the learning curve stop feeling like a personal attack. Let's talk a little bit why digital feels harder than pencil, even though maybe you've been drawing your entire life. So let's take a step back and look at this. First, you're learning two things at once. You're learning drawing, even if you already know how to draw, you might be advancing your skills. Plus, you're learning a new tool and an app and new settings. Traditional drawing is like writing with a pen or riding a bike. You've been doing it forever. You don't even remember learning how. You just know. Digital art is like writing with a pen and maybe trying to learn how to ride a bicycle at that same time. Or setting up a printer while you go. Probably a printer is a better example because there's all the buttons. You know, the bike, it has the gears, but anyways. And let's talk a little bit about the surface. So I'm sure the first time you decided you were going to draw on a tablet, you were surprised by how slick the glass was. I mean, it's like learning to ice skate, but a little safer, right? Paper has a grip, it has a tooth to it, something your pencil catches onto. It's not like that with a tablet. Your hands are expecting friction, and your tablet's like, here we go, slip sliding on out of here. Your lines are wobbly, your hand's out of control, and you're panicking and flailing your arms. Guess what? That's normal. It probably happened to all of us the first time we decided we were gonna draw on a tablet or a digital art surface. So let's talk about a couple of quick fixes you can try today, or if you gotta holler at Amazon, sometime in the near future. What's great about tablets is you can add a matte screen protector if you like texture. It gives you a grip like that nice toothy paper feel. Personally, my favorite option, I do not draw digitally without a screen protector. You can turn on stabilization. You don't want to rely on it too heavily. You do want to keep it a bit low, so you do start learning how to control your Apple Pencil or your stylus, but you can use it as a tool when you're getting started. And try zooming in a little bit less. You do need arm movement, not tiny wrist circles. And let's talk a little bit about why undo makes you feel like, one, it makes you feel like a boss because you can just undo. Two, it makes you overthink like the real MVP. Unlimited undos sound like you just hit the lottery until you're, unraveling your confidence, because why not? You can just second guess yourself and go back over and over and start again and again and again. You see what I'm saying here? You start judging every little line, every pencil stroke. You can't. Hard stop. So instead, with your little undo button, hang on to those little fingers and try this. Sketch on one layer, set a timer for 5 minutes, no erasing, no two-finger gesture undo buttons, only drawing, and then once the timer's up, you can go clean up your artwork. If you've ever zoomed in, so far you're basically drawing pixel by pixel. Hey, you wouldn't be the first. You're not alone. You can go ahead and leave us a comment and let us know you're not going to live that life anymore. All right, now that we've talked a little bit about digital art and why it can feel harder, let's talk a little bit about the skills you need for digital art that's going to help you out. Let's talk brush control. It's its own skill. That fancy brush pack that your favorite artist makes their work look like a dream, it's not going to save you. That's skill that they've developed over time. So let's start with one solid brush for sketching, one for line art, and one for shading. Those cute brushes, you can buy them later, but let's practice with the same brush for a week because you're going to be building pressure control. You're going to learn how that brush's taper works, and you're going to learn to control your speed and the flow of your brush. You're going to get less wobbly and more boss mode. Now, let's talk about those layers. Layers are great. You've seen those rainbow cake stacks, right? If my layers had a spirit object, that rainbow cake, she'd be the one. But they can turn into clutter. Also, my life. Too many layers can make you feel lost. So you want to start early, naming those layers, grouping them up, but before you're in over your head on layers, let's try just using a few layers at a time. Let's have your sketch on one layer, your cleaned up line art on one layer. I personally would recommend doing a layer for each color flat, and then a layer for your shadows, your highlights, and then another layer if you want to add in texture. Name those layers. Do not forget, or you'll be me running around like a chicken with your head cut off, not even knowing your own name, and definitely not being able to find which layer you need in an efficient amount of time. Let's talk about the magic of glowing backlit screens that make our art pop. It does look beautiful, doesn't it? But colors, they look different on screens. Your colors can look too bright, too gray, a little weirdly neon. Paper doesn't have this ability, so your colors are gonna look a bit different once you start drawing digitally. Some habits that can help with that, or some simple fixes really, is checking your art in grayscale to see the values, to see if you have enough contrast between your colors. Use fewer colors, so limit that palette and then build out. And save a small palette that you can reuse across various products. A consistent palette is going to help your brand look cohesive. Okay, so now that you know some of the things that are going on, let's actually go over a simple practice plan that gets you results fast. So first, we're going to stop practicing random stuff. Random practice feels busy, but it's not stacking. We're going to pick one focus per week. So an example of a weekly focus could be week 1. You are doing cleaner sketches and you're hitting that undo button less and you're zooming in less. Week 2, you could be working on more confident lines, more control of those lines and those brush strokes. And you're using that same brush daily to really learn the ins and outs of that brush. Week 3, you could be practicing your flat colors and clean edges, reusing the same color palette and really redefining it and limiting that palette to a couple of base colors and then just lights and dark variations of that color set. And then week 4, you could be practicing shading and highlights in one direction. So you're doing light source studies and consistently working on those shadows and highlights. And all of that's going to help you improve faster. And then you can use mini studies that match what you actually want to sell. So if you're wanting to sell stickers, you can practice with bold shapes and not a lot of tiny lines and crisp, clear silhouettes. If you're wanting to sell prints, you can practice on your lighting and your composition, what would look good paired together on someone's wall. If you're wanting to sell planners, you would want to practice icons and clean line work. And remember, those planners are going to have very small printers. So once again, you're not putting in a lot of detail. You want bold, simple shapes that are going to stand out when they're printed at like a tiny scale. Your practice should be geared towards the products that you're wanting to sell. And then we want to set ourselves a done rule. Perfectionism will lead you down so many rabbit holes, and they all lead to hours that you probably don't have. So let's start at the end and decide what done means before you start. So examples of this are 3 colors, 1 shadow, 1 highlight on these products, and then they get exported. Another example, clean outline, flat colors, simple texture, export. You don't get to add extras, no fine details. Pick your rules and don't overthink it, just get it done. If your digital art looks worse than your sketchbook right now, just remember, that's normal. And if you want more videos that help you get better at digital art while also building products you can actually sell, make sure and subscribe and hit that like button. And I've also created a brand new digital drawing guide that is free to help you beat that digital drawing overwhelm. I'll go ahead and put a link to that in the description if you want to check that out. And go ahead and let me know in the comments what feels hardest right now when doing digital drawing. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again real soon.